Michael Flamion grew up near St. Louis, Missouri, and as he neared adulthood, his interest in law enforcement grew.
You know, I have some family that was in it, and I think just hearing some of the stories that they told just immediately grabbed my attention. Just be involved in your community and all that.
After high school, Michael went to the Jefferson College Police Academy and was hired by the DeSoto, Missouri Police Department. After working there for 7 years, he moved to the nearby city of Baldwin, where he became a patrolman with the Baldwin PD.
He loves being a police officer. I completely supported him. I pretty much had determined, I wasn't going to be scared every time he went to work.
I think she knew that I tried to stay fairly safe while I was on the streets, but some things you just don't share with her just so she doesn't have to worry about it.
Michael was passionate about his work, and he hoped to advance to a drug unit where he could work undercover to enforce the law. Unfortunately, he would never get the opportunity, as his career was suddenly cut short.
I don't remember much. The only thing I know for sure is I made a traffic stop from what I was told.
He stopped the vehicle. He approached from the driver's side. He had a conversation with the driver. Mike gets the paperwork. He's walking back to the police car. As he turns to get in the driver's side door of the police car, the suspect gets out of his vehicle, raises a handgun, and fires what we believe to be 3 shots. One of the shots hit Mike in the neck.
I just remember waking up in the hospital, looking at Sarah, asking her what happened. She told me I had been shot, and then after laying there for a little while, I realized I wasn't able to move. And that's when she had told me that the shot actually entered my spinal cord and paralyzed me.
He is paralyzed from, I would say, about his collarbone down. He can shrug his shoulders a little bit, but he has no arm movement or anything like that. His diaphragm is still paralyzed, so he is on a ventilator. To breathe for him, he's on that all the time. But the blessing for us is that he didn't have any sort of traumatic brain injury with it. A few days after he was hurt and everything, and everybody was trying to figure out mentally if he was okay, around his tube in his mouth, he asked if I made his truck payment. At which point, I knew like we were perfectly fine.
I can remember laying in bed at the hospital thinking, I'm not gonna be able to go back to work. How are we gonna be able to afford to pay our bills, how to pay a house payment?
It wasn't long before Jim Schubert, a Gary Sinise Foundation board member and St. Louis, Missouri native, heard about what had happened to a police officer near his hometown.
We felt like in this community that we were sucker punched when this took place. So I was just very motivated to want to try to do something. We decided to stop by the Baldwin Police Department, and I dropped off a Gary Sinise challenge coin, left a card and wrote a note, call me.
He came up and met me at the hospital and explained to me what all the foundation does and said that they were in, that they wanted to help.
I couldn't believe somebody would step in and do that for us and step in and build a house for us. It just blew my mind. It was one thing that we weren't going to have to worry about. It was something that was going to help us tremendously.
With the support of independent community donations, the Gary Sinise Foundation began construction on Michael's specially adapted custom smart home. On November 21st, 2017, the home was completed, and Michael and his wife, Sarah, moved in.
Today is such a beautiful day to welcome Officer Flamion and his wife, Sarah, to the new forever home.
The big thing here is a lot of freedom for Mike. Flooring is a big thing with Mike's chair. The chair weighs 600 pounds. It's not going to move as well on carpet. That's one of the things that they were working on, one surface floor throughout the inside of the house, so there's 0 thresholds inside. And then even going to the outside, having a very low threshold was very important. The ceiling lifts is it's going to make things so much easier for transfers. It'll be easier on him and easier on me as well. For him to not have to ask me for everything, I think for his state of mind, I think it's going to help a lot.
They told me I was the first responder they had built a house for, and that made me wonder how I got to be so lucky. I mean, I'm absolutely honored that they did what they did for me.
Today, Michael and Sarah are enjoying their new home and the regular visits from his friends at the Baldwin Police Station, which is less than a mile away. At the Gary Sinise Foundation, we serve our nation by honoring our first responders, defenders, veterans, their families, and those in need. To learn more about the Gary Sinise Foundation and how you can support other first responders like Michael Flamion, visit GarySiniseFoundation.org.